Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I'm Dan Vega.
I'm Angel Morales, and welcome to the Spanglish Business Show. So what's up, Dan?
Man? Not much. What are you up to, buddy?
Oh man, a lot of things happening, man. Tell me what's going on. What's
in my world?
What happened in your world? What happened last week? What you got going? Because you always got something going.
You think?
Well, you should, man. You just came back from vacation. You were fresh, so I know you got something going on.
Let me think about what's happened in my life since I saw you last week.
Okay.
Honestly, nothing worth mentioning, to be honest with you. Honestly, it was kind of a week back from my trip. Yeah. It was kind of a grind week just to kind of get caught up.
Yeah.
I didn't really do anything, worthy of mentioning. That's kind of stayed home over the weekend, caught up on my shows.
Well, that's good.
I always have a few shows I like to get caught up on.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Do you ever feel guilty where sometimes you come home and you just want to sit on the couch and just watch TV? And I feel so unproductive. And so, but I got to be honest, like to me, I just need to catch a couple of shows, at least a couple nights a week where I just kind of defrag and not think about anything.
Absolutely.
And, I kind of struggle with, is this the best use of my time? But honestly, I don't really care. There's a few shows I really like, and I binge watch.
Oh, man. Well, it happens to everybody. Sometimes you work so hard, too, that, even though you go on vacation, you also need that, me time.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I'm with you with that. Absolutely.
So if Gary Vaynerchuk was listening right now, he would say, have a grind during the day, build your business at night. And certainly we've done that with startups, and you got to work. But honestly, sometimes you do have to take a few hours out of a day or, a day or two out of a week to just kind of defrag, empty your cup a little bit.
Yeah.
And I find when I empty my cup a little bit and just kind of, not take in so much, I find that I become more creative and I have those great ideas. Probably my best time in business and my most creative time is when I'm coming back from a trip in the car or on the plane back. And I just kind of blew off steam and had some fun. I'm in that mode of like, oh man, when I get back to my office, here's what I'm going to do. And I'm really worth something.
Oh yeah.
But when I'm just constantly grinding and week to week, and I don't ever take that reprieve, I'm not as useful.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what, we all need that downtime. But I mean, a lot of things been happening lately, man. A lot of things.
Well, especially in business. What's your take on you saw that Amazon bought Whole Foods?
Amazon bought Whole Foods, yeah.
What do you think about that?
Man, that's the way of the future. That's the way the future is going. I mean, Amazon buying Whole Foods, it's a big thing. It's a big thing.
I think between Amazon and Google, they're basically ruling the world at this point.
They're doing a lot of things.
So I knew that Amazon has a couple of stores or a store or two where they beta test, selling groceries. Now they're buying Whole Foods. So we see the writing on the wall. We know what the plan is. Yeah. And I believe they say they're using half of the amount of workers, right?
So they're going to on the stores,
So probably that buyout means that some people will be getting the walk-in papers, right? Because they're operating on a lower margin. But I also read that they're working on a deal where they can deliver via drone. Have you read that?
Oh, absolutely. It's all over the news. Yeah.
That is strange.
Yeah, that is strange. Can you imagine having a drone on top of your house?
I don't know how I feel about that, though. With the amount of purchases people do on Amazon, I kind of see 10 years from now, you're going outside to get the paper, if that's even a thing anymore.
Yeah.
And you look out and there's just drones everywhere. The skies are filled with drones dropping off people's stuff. I don't know if I love that, man. That's too much tech for me.
That's a lot of tech for me.
It's like the Minority Report, where it seems like it's gonna artificial intelligence is taking over, and
it's kind of weird.
I expect Will Smith to pop out and start shooting. I don't know, man. It's too much.
That's crazy. It's gonna be like Area 51 in front of your house.
It's too much.
You got robots delivering the newspapers, and I mean, it's it's.
I gotta tell you, bro, it doesn't seem like we're that far off.
We're not far off
from that kind of stuff, and they say that Google. They say verifiably has artificial intelligence. So I don't have the inside Google. I have a really close personal friend that's partners, and that's what the word is.
Yeah. Well, Japan and South Korea, that's all they build.
Yeah.
They build. In fact, they got some lookalike persons robots right now. You can even tell if they're a real person or not.
That's strange.
Go ahead and Google it.
Honestly, I have trouble with a DVD player.
Really?
And like operating my television. That's like technology-wise. Yeah. It's that's my.
In the future, you do like Alexa, from Amazon. Hey Alexa, turn on my DVD player. And then you get.
Now I could get down with that concept.
Xbox got that.
My wife would love that if I had some other, hey, do this, and this Alexa chick is doing all that stuff for me. My wife would love it.
You know what I do? I got an Alexa in my house, and I love it. And every morning, Alexa, what's the temperature? The temperature outside, 75 degrees.
So can you change her voice and make it give her a French accent?
I don't think so yet, but I guarantee you it's a good idea. You can submit to Amazon. They might do it. Hey, you might get a different voice.
Yeah.
You never know.
That'd be awesome. How about if it was your voice, dude?
My voice?
You have like a Spanglish. Hey, Mato, get up!
Alexa, dame café. Con leche. Yeah. Con leche? What is the leche?
That would be good, dude. Now, when that comes out, you tell me. I'll buy it.
Oh, that'd be good, man. That'd be good. All right. Well, there's a lot of other things going on, man.
What have you been doing over the weekend? What have you been up to?
I was listening to music, and then I just found out that Justin Bieber, Despacito, is like the most streamed song ever right now.
What do you think about that?
It's a pretty good song. I like it.
Honestly, I have a 9-year-old. He's going to be 10 in September. So I'm not a big radio guy. I like to listen to Sirius. I like CD. I like my stuff. But when he's in the car, he's a top 40 kid. We listen to the radio, and so I'm familiar with Bieb's stuff. And I got to tell you, man, I don't care who knows it. I'm a total fan. I'm a believer.
Yeah,
I'm a total believer. He's a very smart kid. He's an angel investor. Really, he actually invests in technology. I had the chance to. His mom was on our show actually promoting her book, which went New York Times, and he of course wrote the foreword. Just a very nice, polite kid. And back when I was talking to him, that he was in trouble, I think at that time in the media about driving a 4-wheeler with his buddies, and pulled over in the woods and took a leak behind a tree. And there was all this negative media, and his mom was saying, what kid that's 18, 19 years old out in the forest with his buddies doesn't do that? But because you have you're so much in the public eye, then it's different. You come under this other scrutiny. And I think he's not doing anything that most teenagers or young adults get into, but definitely the pressure at that level is something.
All eyes on the kid. That's what it is. All the eyes on the kid.
And he can solve a Rubik's Cube, all sides. In less than 2 minutes. I mean, the kid is a smart
man. I can't do
guy.
that stuff.
I take it apart and put stickers.
That's right. Let me get the sticker. Hey, what the red one at? Yeah. I cannot do that. But that's a trick to it. But I don't know the trick.
Well, in that song, it was he was, I guess, a couple of weeks back, he was in the concert live, and he, I guess, forgot the words. And was just ad-libbing because he didn't know Spanish as well as whatever when they went in and recorded. But it takes a lot of guts to like, if you ask me right now to go cut a song in, German, or let's even say Spanish, and I'm Latino, I would be terrified. There's no way that I would be able to do that. And I think singing in English, most people forget the words at one time or another. Yeah. So we got to cut the Bieb some slack. I think he's a smart kid.
Yeah. I mean, he's got 2.6 billion views.
Hey, what are you
gonna do? Yeah. He's got a lot. Yeah. But let me tell you something. I'll change the subject a little bit. My mom went on a cruise, a Caribbean cruise, right?
Okay.
She went over to like 10 different countries, I will say that. And she brought me a gift. It says Baja Ensenada, Mexico.
I was just in Baja.
Yeah, I know. You were there, man. So
I was there. I was in Ensenada 2 weeks ago. And cool, it's an amazing place. So nice. Ensenada, there's a port where they come right in and do the shopping. So that's where she ported.
Probably so. Yeah.
Nice.
So she had a great time. She's like, hey, here's a little hat from our little trip. And she sent me coffee from down, those places. And we already drank the coffee. It didn't last like 3 days.
So when I was down there a couple of weeks ago, we were offered a lot more than coffee. But it was shocking. There were some pretty seedy little areas. But overall, awesome area. So is your mom like independently wealthy and she cruises the world, or
she's retired? She's retired and she wants to travel around. So
to make you jealous, she travels all these places and sends you little mementos and says, "Angel, here's where I am now," and you're like,
"Here's a little cup," or she do like Messenger, right? "Oh, here I am now.
Look at this photo
or I'm in Spain," and I'm like, "How you got to Spain to Italy in one day?"
Yeah,
I mean, what's going on in here? But hey, she's retired. She can
Good for her.
So yeah,
paid her dues.
There you go. There you go. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And well, since you have nothing going on, I've been working on a new project.
I'm quite boring.
Yeah, you are. So while you sit on the couch, I've been doing a lot of drawing.
Good for you.
I got a new thing going on, man.
Lay it on me, baby.
You want to? Actually, I got a picture of it.
Show me.
Okay, let me show you what it is.
First of all, before you show me, what does it have to do with?
It's a new concept.
A new concept,
It's a new concept.
And
but I'm going to show you first.
Can it be monetized?
It can be monetized.
Okay, show me.
The show is about business, so all we do is about business.
Okay.
Now, let me show you the first ever piñata drone.
I'm out.
It's a piñata drone, man.
A piñata drawing?
A drone. Like a
drone.
Yeah, man.
A piñata drone.
Go check this out, man. Every piñata got a string, right?
Yeah.
And then you got to hit it with a stick so you can get your candy.
Okay.
Well, this method is harder because you're going to have somebody with the drone and he's going to be, maneuvering the drone. So it's going to be hard for you to actually hit the drone. But of course, when you hit and you get the candy, it's going to be well worth it. But yeah, man.
I see some logistical problems with that, but hey, who am I to say? dig. So, dude, how long did it take you to draw that?
Oh, well, I got a group of people. First, I got Africa Ramirez and Alexander and Natalie. They did this for me.
Okay.
And I told them, I got a vision, guys.
So do you have like a focus group that you bring in where we're talking drone piñatas and everybody's in there?
Yeah, it's all about team effort, man. Team effort. Yeah,
I've seen a lot of ideas in my day, but...
Hey, man, piñata drone.
Let me know how it goes.
Yeah, nobody's seen that.
Okay.
All right,
well, listen, I'm really excited about transition-wise, talking about piñatas. No, I'm excited about today's guest. She's actually a very cool lady.
Mm-hmm.
I've known her for quite some time.
Okay.
Very successful entrepreneur, speaker, woman business owner. She does it all. And also actually we worked together a little bit for the current president, Donald Trump.
Oh, wow.
She was a director at the time. And we met actually through Trump's organization. And I actually at one time became a trainer with one of his companies, and she was the one that flew out and trained me. And very cool gal. And we're talking. She's a multiple business owner, owns several companies, and just a gal that really gets it. So let's see if we can dial her in. I really am excited to talk to her and see what we can glean to help our businesses.
All right, let's see.
So her number is 555.
Okay.
No, I'm joking. I'm not going to give out the number. Go ahead and dial.
Here.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, let's see. In fact, let's get some volume up in here. What do you think?
All right, let's put her up.
Let's call her. Let's see.
Please enjoy this Verizon ringback tone while your party is seated.
Verizon's trying to reach her. Oh my God.
Hello. Hey Maria, how you doing? This is Angel from the Spanglish Business Show here with Dan Vega.
Hey Maria, how are you?
Hi, doing great. How are you guys?
Awesome.
First of all, I have to ask, what ringtone is that? Because it was saying that Verizon is trying to reach this party, and then it had some kind of, I don't know what, festival music? What would you call that?
It's a ringtone. You can actually buy ringtones in Verizon. So that was a once upon a time thing.
So you actually bought that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. My daughter's a huge fan of Once Upon a Time, so I put it on.
Oh, nice. Okay.
She loves the show.
All right.
Well, Angel was just telling me what a huge Justin Bieber fan he's becoming. So maybe that's something that you could do.
Yeah,
is
I can buy Despacito.
Nice.
Despacito ringtone.
Done.
Yes, you could. You could definitely do that.
So, Maria, how have you been, my friend? It's been a little while since we've spoken.
Yes, it has.
I was actually just bragging on you. I know that you are not only a very accomplished entrepreneur, speaker, We actually have worked together in the past with fellow friends and alliances, which we'll talk about. And you guys actually have several different businesses. But before we get into that, talk a little bit about, where you're from, how you got started in business.
Well, actually, going back, we've got to kind of go back to the beginning so that you understand where I'm coming from. I was actually born into entrepreneurship and business building and stuff. My grandfather owned 3 businesses. So, of course, my parents worked for my grandfather. And so I remember being like 3 years old and serving, being a waitress, but I would take water to tables, and people thought I was the cutest thing, and, they would take pictures of me. Back then, they were, the Polaroids.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then we had a gas station. I remember being at the age of 7, pumping gas. But the coolest story, I think, that I've got for you tonight is that I'm from an Indian reservation. So I grew up in Cherokee, North Carolina, and I'm from an Indian reservation. So I used to dress up when I was 9 years old. So this is me being an entrepreneur, right? I used to dress up when I was 9 years old as a chief. And I would sit outside my grandfather's gas station, and people would give me tips for sitting there. It was so cool. So
nice.
My first adventure into creating my own businesses, which I later did, at the age of 19, opening a dance and theater company. And then later on with my husband at the age of 21, we opened a billboard company.
Wow.
Now I do public speaking coaching, and I have my own TV show too.
Yay.
Very exciting.
Where do you find the time? I know you have children. How do you find all the time to do all this?
Well, I actually homeschool my kids. So believe it or not, homeschooling kids is a lot simpler than sending them to school, I found.
I'm so happy you said that. Because I'm on the fence right now about going that route.
Well, because what happened was I've done both. My kids were in the public school system up until my daughter was in 4th grade. And what happened was my son is, a couple years behind, so I took him out in 2nd grade. But my daughter was coming home, and she, being in dance classes and stuff, would get home like at 8 at night. And then we would have like 4 hours of homework. So here I have a 4th grader going to bed at 11 and 12, and I'm exhausted from teaching dance, plus, doing everything else I did in the daytime. And I'm like, okay, something's got to change. So I started homeschooling, and it made it so much easier because, number one, there's no homework.
Nice. You're like, something has to change, and I'm not changing, so those kids have to change. I love it.
Exactly. You got to change, and I'm not changing. So.
Yeah, you don't have to drive to we got breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the house. You don't have to go to Pizza Hut or anything like that.
Yep.
Save some time.
Well, and they say that, out of 30 kids in a classroom, the amount of personal attention that they get anyways, isn't it that if you have a quality hour or 2 a week, it's actually comparable or even more than the public school system?
Well, yes, I believe so. And, my kids have they've excelled in their studies and stuff. My daughter's, she's going into 9th grade, but she's already on a college level reading, literacy, grammar, writing level already. And my son, who is going into 6th grade, he's already up there at high school too. And what it is just the personal attention that they get. They kind of get to choose their subjects and the interests that they want to, study. And so you kind of work at their speed instead of just pushing them through the system and just hoping they get it.
So have you found better success of like an hour a day, 2 hours a day? Or is it just a couple days a week of more time spent? Or what's worked better for you?
Well, with my kids, I probably spend maybe a couple hours with them with their homeschool studies because I pretty much give them their assignments and they go on their own. And then they come to me with questions.
Gotcha.
So it's not like I'm sitting in a classroom, with a bulletin board and going, okay, this is what we're doing. Because everything they need to know, I can look up online. They can watch videos. So they have teachers or they have curriculums that's based like that. And so they just come to me with the extra help that they need to, and understanding our questions. Man,
that seems very conducive for young entrepreneurs to kind of get that schedule and kind of set things on their terms. And you I know you were a very young entrepreneur. You mentioned starting your billboard company at 19. I was also 19 in my own business, and I got to tell you, it seemed overwhelming to start. 19, you're still trying to figure out who you are, right? and to pull the trigger and get out there and start chasing a passion and taking some risk. It takes a lot of guts. And I know that I believe that company's still in business, is it not? That you started.
Oh, yes, the Billboard company is,
wow.
and so is the dance studio.
Wow.
I started the dance studio when I was 19, the dance and theater company. And then,
nice.
Of course, the Billboard company, yes, is still going. So, yes, both of them are still going and still going great. And I'm actually selling out of the dance and theater business just because I want to focus more on my public speaking and traveling and seminars and my own TV show. And it's just, I can do a lot of things, but I can't do it all.
Sure.
So I'm selling out of one company.
Yeah, it takes, as life progresses and we develop ourselves, there's different seasons, right? And I know that you've done a lot in personal development over the years, and we'll talk about that. But tell us a little bit about the vision of your show. Tell us, I've caught a few episodes, but talk to us a little bit about the show and kind of what the vision is.
Well, the vision with my show, my TV show, is called The Lyons Den with Maria Lyons. And basically what I do with my TV show is I'm usually the sole speaker on my show. And what I do is I do motivational or personal growth videos. Most of them are about 5 minutes long. There's a few on there that are a little more. And then I'll also have guest people that come on my show, and they're usually entrepreneurs or business builders in the community. I've got a few celebrities lined up and models that are lined up to come on the show as well. And what I do, instead of them talking about their business, I actually have them talk about, how did you do it, and what was your evolution of, stepping into this new you? I know at first you were kind of scared. Tell me your processes and how you evolved to where you are now.
And maybe some of the things they've had to overcome.
Yes.
Like all of us.
Obstacles. Yes, their obstacles, their challenges. I have them talk about that because that helps personal growth-wise. And if there's someone thinking about doing their own businesses, because, we all have those struggles in the beginning.
Sure.
And I want people to hear those stories.
Well, and what I like about it too is, it's something that's short and sweet. It's something you can pick up 5 or 10 minutes and glean real nuggets that are applicable in today's business climate. And, we've actually had this talk, you and I, before, where, we're now on Roku. We've gotten away from the networks, and we've both had this discussion that, the networks don't have the power that they once did, and the behavior has really changed. I think largely due to social media, but people's attention spans are just not what they were. And having these 5 or 10 minute, really fast-paced nugget, shows that just help people really take away stuff. I think that's just the future where we've become. What's needed.
Well, and two, I think it has to do with a community of a new culture of I want it now, and you get to pick and choose.
That's right.
Yeah. And I think that's why it's really popular to have these kinds of things and to produce these kinds of things.
Sure. Yeah, and how was? I know you have an amazing husband, Lloyd. How's Lloyd been?
Lloyd's doing great. He's working hard.
Well, listen, Maria, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I want to talk to you a little bit more about today's plans and moving forward, what you have coming down the pipeline. So stick with us. We'll be right back with Maria Lyons, everybody. Hang with us. Okay, welcome back, everybody. We're here with Angel Pomales and Maria Lyons, speaker, entrepreneur. She's a television host of the Lyons Den. Maria, tell us a little bit about how you came up with the idea or the decision of saying, you know what, I've done the speaking thing, I've done the coaching thing, which I know you're still doing, but I think, maybe having my own show, this is something that I really want to pursue. How did you kind of arrive at that?
Well, with the theater background and stuff, acting is something that I've always wanted to do, and being in front of a camera, I've just always enjoyed doing that. And so what I really wanted to do was to take my knowledge of public speaking and get it to the masses easier without just having to do, radio shows or speaking engagements, because you can only reach so many people that way.
Sure.
So going through social media, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, I realized that, creating my own television show, or I guess we should call it a web series, would be a way to get out more of what I do. So therefore it would fill my seminars a little bit more, and people would get to know me a little bit more on the things that I actually do speak on, which is personal growth.
Sure. Now, speaking of personal growth, I know that you have you're a part of John C. Maxwell's program, and you're how do you word that? A certified coach with his program, or?
Yes, I'm a keynote speaker, trainer, coach with the John Maxwell team.
Yeah. He's an amazing guy, probably one of the most or the most successful, author speaker out there. He's one of the guys that can pack the arenas, and I know him and Paul Martinelli and some of those guys. Yeah. And so you do a lot of personal growth coaching. Is your coaching business geared more towards women or men, or just either, or just small business owners?
No, I do both. I do women, men, small business owners, people just starting up. I do kind of everybody, anybody who, I have people that aren't even considering starting a business, but they're just, maybe challenged a little bit, or they have some self-image issues, and they just need a little encouraging. So I help them kind of find their passion, their purpose. I help them set goals, and then once I get them to that point, if they're not ready to really start a business, then I start helping them come up with a way to turn their passion into a job or into a way to make money. So that's kind of the way I work with people. I kind of work with a lot of different people.
Yeah, I don't personally see myself as like a personal growth coach. I'm more of a business coach, and I do some business coaching. But I do find that in the beginning, when you start coaching people, a lot of the hang-ups, it's personal. It's perception of how they view business, or fear-based, or how they view themselves. Maybe they have a low self-image. And so before you can really start talking about clarity of vision and strategy and how you're going to accomplish certain thresholds in business, those are definite things that we have to address.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, I know that your clients have seen amazing success. Now I know you're very established at this point. Are you working with, a lot of clients, or do you like to, time-wise, just keep it to a handful, or?
I like to kind of keep it to a handful, mainly because I prefer to work with the seminars and travel and stuff, and work with people on a larger scale. I prefer to do coaching in groups, but then be available more for one-on-ones if they need it.
Sure.
But I prefer to do more group coaching-based stuff and live seminars than to just do one-on-ones, because I'm finding that the one-on-ones take a lot of my time, and I still have a family.
Yeah, of course, and multiple businesses. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm with you. I like to have maybe a few coaching clients, because I feel like it helps you keep your finger on the pulse and kind of know what's going on. But other than that, when you take on a large base of personal clients, especially in the personal growth, I do find that sometimes I feel like they're psychotherapists. Have you experienced that?
Yes, I do. You're absolutely right.
There's sometimes we're covering stuff. I'm like, man, I'm not sure if I'm qualified to go over this. You might want to call. Here's a number, right? So.
I've actually stopped sessions before. I'm like, you know what? You need to take that up with a therapist.
Yeah. Yeah, here's a hotline.
Bring it back.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Here's a 1-800 for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Maria, we know that you experienced a lot of success, and as an entrepreneur. So can you talk to us about some of your struggles early in your career and what you learned from them?
Well, one of the things that I learned early on is that, it's good to set goals. It's good to really know who you are, and to know your passion and your purpose, and to try to really figure out what it is you want to do and how you want to make money at that passion and purpose. But one of the biggest things that I learned in this industry was you have to be nice. And you have to learn how to communicate well with people. One of John Maxwell's books that I just love, it's called Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. And that's a really great book for a lot of people to read, because a lot of us can just talk all day long, and people can sit there and nod their heads, but a lot of the time we're not really connecting with our audience. And I have found that, you know, when you can really get in there and you can connect with someone, then you can start helping make a change and make a shift. So, you know, I think early on when I first started out, one of my struggles was not really connecting with people. I had a lot of information and I would spew it at people, and, you know, and I'm very ambitious and I'm very direct. And so I think a lot of times people thought I was very intimidating, you know, just because I had all this information. And so I really had to figure out how to be more human and learn to communicate better and soften myself a little bit so that I could connect with people on a more emotional level. Yeah. So,
ultimately, at the end of the day, people still do business with people that they know, like, and trust, right? Yep. Regardless of the product or the service. And I found exactly what you're saying to be true. When we first started the television show, you know, I would have all these questions prepared, and I would get on their Wikipedia, and I would look up the whole thing, and I would have everything prepared. And then I would ask them a question, and then while they're answering, instead of really listening, I'm looking for a bridge of like, okay, yeah. How do I tie it into my second question? And I'm so in my head about asking the questions. And when I would go back and watch those interviews, exactly what you said, I said, man, I'm really not connecting with these people, and I'm making it about me. It's really their moment, right? Yeah. And what I learned was, instead of being so much geared on the questions, is just to be very well prepared, have my questions, but then really take it where they want to take it. And what I found out is, I still usually get 75-80% of the questions in, but it's much more of a, you know, it's a better interview, and it's much better for them, and they have a much greater experience when you really connect. I haven't read that book from John Maxwell. I'm gonna have to pick that up.
Yes, it's a great one. You're gonna love that one.
So Angel just served me some kind of a what is this?
It's called STM, Strawberry Tequila Martini.
A strawberry tequila martini.
Oh, yeah. It's our own invention. It's our own invention here.
I'm going to send you mine somehow, Maria, because honestly, buddy, I would love this, but I'm on a very strict thing right now. Really? I gotta get back in the. I've been lazy.
So I'm gonna do double shot of that.
Do double, and I will. I will box this up and send it to Maria after.
We'll send one to Maria
after the show.
FedEx. She's gonna love it. And just remember that STM, we started here in the Spanish English Business Show. It's called a strawberry tequila martini, and they got a cherry on them. Strawberry on them, I mean.
Now,
see,
Maria,
I'm already...
He's already stumbling, Maria. I'm already stumbling. Completely out of it.
And only took a sip.
Let me ask you a question. We definitely want to touch a little bit on... I know both of us at one time worked for the current president, Donald Trump's, one of his companies.
And it's good.
And I was talking that when we decided to kind of get connected with that company, you were actually the trainer that came out and trained us. Yeah. And we've had the privilege of, you know, meeting him and spending some time with him on several occasions. I know what my experience was with Trump, but certainly here at the show, we're very politically neutral, so we don't want to get into that. But what was, just out of curiosity, your dealings with him, what's your take?
Well, yes, I was working with him on one of his companies, and I was one of their trainers that did go around training different groups and stuff and speaking, and I love that. But my dealings with Donald Trump were completely positive. I mean, it was a wonderful experience. The man is very, very direct. He knows what he wants, and you've got to know what you want and say what you need to say, or you know, he's kind of done. But
if not, you're fired.
Wonderful individual. Very. I mean, to me, he was kind of like a grandfather figure. I mean, like he has these words of wisdom that just kind of pop out of his head, and you're like, wow, that's kind of cool.
I had a very similar experience. I thought, you know, I had several occasions where I got to meet him, and even a couple of times where I actually got to spend time with him on other things. And, you know, he was always very direct, but it wasn't like watching The Apprentice where he's firing everybody. And he was actually a very honest, direct guy, and my experience only, he was very gracious and did what he said he was going to do. And, you know, I'm not saying what kind of president he'll make, but honestly, he was always very, he didn't seem as, you know, over the top as they make him out to be on television. But, you know, very good, gracious, very smart person. And I'm probably the only Latino that will actually say that, because my people don't like them. They say, no, they don't. But I'm just,
on my talk show, I've got a whole story about what Donald Trump did for me and my encounter with him when I first met him. So it's on.
Can you give me just like give me a little taste of what that is?
Basically, when I first met him, I mean, he's this giant of a guy.
Huge.
I'm short. I'm 5'2", but I mean, he's huge. And basically, I mean, he reached out. He took my hand. His hand just swallowed mine. It's a giant hand. And,
Wow.
He didn't press it any more than I pressed his. So, and he looked me right in the eye and he asked me, how are you doing? And I really felt that connection. Before he moved on. There's other people, wanting to meet him too, but he waited until I said, well, I'm doing great. It's an honor to meet you. Before he moved on from me, and it was just great to hear him speak later that night on some other things that just really changed my life, because I was at a really negative point in my life when I met him. And it's in that series about, what was going on in my life then, and just how just one thing that he said just completely pulled me out of it and changed my thinking just a little bit.
Yeah.
I read some of his books, like especially The Art of the Deal, back when I was in the military. And I read a lot of his books, by the way. That's why I've been so successful in business.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, the way that he actually, teach you, I mean, it's a different way that most people, will think about.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a different perspective, and it's down to earth. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And it's simple.
And it's simple. Yeah, exactly. It's simple. And
most of it's common sense.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we actually brought several times when we were up there with him, I brought a couple of friends that really wanted to meet him. And I talked to a few of the guys on his team, and I said, look, I'm going to bring these people. They're dying to meet Donald. And they said, okay, they worked it out. And one of them particularly was like, I am not a Trump fan. I don't like him. He seems like a jerk, and he's pompous. And they had a very negative perception of him. And I just said, that's not my experience, but just come with me. We're going to hang out a little bit. And he got up and he spoke. And honestly, within 20 minutes, my friend leans over and was like, okay, he's very different than I thought. And he actually became a very big Trump fan and started buying his books. And he won him over, because I think that behind the scenes, he is a different, it's a different thing than what sometimes gets projected in the media.
Right.
For sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Totally agree. And, my experience with him, with entrepreneurship and just business building and stuff, he's very for women and women in businesses and goals. So.
Yeah. Which is contrary to the general consensus. Now, a lot of the lessons and the things that you kind of gleaned from those Trump years, do you find now very applicable in your businesses today?
Oh, yes. Yes, definitely. You're always growing and evolving, and you always take a little bit of the things you learned with you. And, through those years, I think it taught me, how to be humble and how to really work with large groups of people. And that's really what I learned, and learned that passion, and just really became, passionate about, speaking for groups of people through those years.
I'm excited to just be your friend, because it's like your mentors are like Donald Trump and John C. Maxwell. And it's like, wow, I know her. Yeah. I mean, she only goes to the big name. Nobody else. It's like, names, what about this one? Nah, it's like, But that's really amazing. And let me ask you a question. So I have to be honest with you. The first time I saw you, I met you in Lloyd. I don't remember if it was in New York or Las Vegas. Do you recall? Might have been Las Vegas.
It was Las Vegas.
Okay, Las Vegas. And so we came in, and I had some friends with me, if you remember. Yeah. And then I just see this chick that looks like Marilyn Monroe, exactly. And I'm like, who is this? And she's talking to me about Donald Trump's company, and I'm like, what is this?
Oh, wow.
So when we met, and even now, you don't look Hispanic. So I know, how does that come about? Because I know that you're Indian, and I presume the Spaniards, they basically went everywhere and conquered anybody. But do you know if there's a percentage of Latino there or not? Or
Yeah, I'm sure there's some Spanish in my, in my history there somewhere. I mean, I love Mexican food.
Hey.
All my friends are
muy bueno. Muy bueno.
Nice.
Yeah.
That qualifies because I don't think I can go a meal without beans and rice. I will eat beans and rice every meal.
Oh, no, carne asada, man. That's
carne asada. Oh, man, I love carne asada. What about menudo?
Tacos. Menudo. I actually will eat menudo. I have a really good friend. Her name's Margarita, and she owns a Mexican restaurant here. And she serves the not so real Mexican food to the other people. And now when I come, she's like, "Oh, Maria, don't order off the menu. I got something for you." And one day she brought me menudo. Oh my Lord! Oh. And once I ate it, and then she told me what was in it.
So now you know where we're going next for menudo.
Look, you eat menudo and you have a friend named Margarita. Yeah. You're qualified, Maria. Yeah. That's all I needed to hear.
Yeah. I love menudo. Yeah. Menudo, Margarita, and Maria. Oh yeah.
We're done.
We're done.
Yes.
We're done.
Let me ask you this. Most of us really started out in the business as fans of somebody else's work. Mm-hmm. You mentioned your experience with working with Trump and also John C. Maxwell. But what other inspirations have you kind of gotten onto that has helped you and developed you over your journey?
Well, there's a lot of ways I can go with that question. A lot of ways that I could answer that. But I'm going to just throw it out there, and it was Gloria Estefan. Gloria Estefan was a huge inspiration to me, and I've been listening to her since probably I was 7 years old.
Really?
And when she had her bus wreck, I was in school. I must have been in 4th grade, and I got home, and my mom told me about it. And I remember just crying. I mean, I was like in tears because I was like, "Oh my God, is she gonna be okay?" And my mom
she hurt her back or something. Is that right?
Broke her back.
I remember that.
But the story of her recovery and just it's just such an amazing story. And then when she stepped on stage for the first time, and the two guys were holding her up, and she sang "Coming Out of the Dark," I lost it again. And then just to see her determination, because the doctors pretty much told her, you'll never be able to walk again while they're on dance. Yeah. And she proved them all wrong. And she went on to have an amazing career. I've met her a couple of times. I've spent time with her. She's just a phenomenal person.
Yeah, she's an amazing lady.
Yeah.
Maria, I got to be honest, you may be more Latino than me. I mean, you were just...
I Gloria Estefan, but I can also sing her Spanish songs too. I don't know what I'm saying, but I know them.
I'm sorry, buddy.
You put me to shame. I am not representing right now.
I like Gloria Estefan. Back when I was a kid too, she started with a group called Miami Sound Machine.
Yes, that's when I listened to them.
Yeah, with her husband. With her husband. Yeah, and they used to sing in Puerto Rico, and they used to sing in the shows where it was like the 12 o'clock shows, midday. And, I used to be with my grandmother, in the house. Oh, wow. And my grandmother was, we got to put, today's going to be Gloria Estefan with Miami Sound Machine. It's going to be good. And we were always, And then they got all the music and the Caribbean flavor on it. I mean, it was just amazing. I love her too.
Do you think that was one of the decisions of also kind of getting into dance?
I think Gloria Estefan had a big part of that. My thing with getting into dance, that goes to Paula Abdul.
Oh wow!
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a story there too.
Well, we're gonna have to get on your show. I've caught several episodes, but I'm gonna have to go back and watch all of them because apparently there is some amazing stories.
Very interesting.
Now, you've mentioned several very good mentors in your life. How important, and I think I know the answer to this, do you feel like finding a good mentor is?
It's extremely important. Every single one of my successes that I've ever done, if it was dance or theater or the Billboard Company or public speaking and film and just with my TV show, I've had wonderful mentors, and I still do. I mean, I still do in all of those areas. Whatever you're doing, you've got to have a mentor. And one of the things I like to say in this thing is to stay, and I tell people this when I'm coaching them, is to stay green and growing, because when you ripen, you rot. Mm-hmm. And the best way to stay green and growing is to make sure you have mentors and then find more mentors. And you've got to stay passionate about what you're doing.
Yeah, and I just feel like that they save you so much time in the game, by... we might take a certain route in our career that's going to take us years off track, and they can help you navigate all the pitfalls and all that stuff and save so much time in our journeys to get where we're trying to get to, you know?
Yes, and you've got to listen to them, you know, because if you don't, you find out the hard way, you know, and they're like, I kind of told you that.
Yeah, that's right. I've been told that many times.
Absolutely. Hey, Maria, I was looking at one of your videos, talk about negative and positive thinking. And I believe it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit more about it?
I need it.
Because my friend here, Dan, needs it.
Well, here's the thing about positive and negative thinking is that it really affects your whole life. I mean, for instance, let's say, you know, you roll out of bed and it's a Monday. And, you know, everybody, for some reason, you know, they think Mondays are bad, but Mondays are really good. But, you know, you kind of have this idea of, you know, Mondays are terrible. So you roll out of bed, you stump your toe right out of, you know, getting out of bed. And so now all of a sudden your day is off to a bad start. So the next thing you know, you've got toothpaste on your shirt. So you see what I'm saying? So now all of a sudden the negativity just kind of keeps downwardly spiraling. And it really can continue to just ruin your day. But when you're thinking positive and you're in a positive mindset and you're really passionate about your life and where you're going and the things that you're doing, then everything changes. I mean, look at Monday as a start to a new week, the new people you're going to meet, the new adventures you're going to go on. And when you get out of bed, spring out of bed, you know, you won't stump your toe and you won't get toothpaste on you. But if you do, that's okay because you've got another shirt in the closet.
Yeah, sure.
You know? So it's kind of a mindset, you know. I know what we've done with our kids. You know, instead of telling them what not to do, like let's say the kids are running down the hall and I say, you know what, no, don't run down the hall, stop running. You know, instead of saying, no, don't, we'll say, walk, please.
Yeah, sure.
Walk, please.
Yeah, sure.
So we're rephrasing negative into positive and reinforcing those values. I mean, we all have bad days, don't get me wrong. But, you know, your mindset going forward is really going to set the whole tone for your day. It sets your week, your year, and the people you meet. Because like-minded people will find each other, and positive people will find each other. Negative people, they always find you.
Oh, gosh.
If negative people are finding you, you might want to ask yourself, are you negative?
That's right. Why are you attracting them?
Yeah.
I always kind of say that I've always found that the first hour of the day for me kind of dictates the day. You know, if I wake up and I'm late already and I'm rushing and I'm not prepared and I don't do any studying and I don't feed my mind, and then it can just domino, like you said, and one thing will lead to another. But if I really get up, I sit there and kind of meditate a little bit, get my thoughts together, maybe do a little bit of studying and kind of feed myself, you know, my mind and kind of really plan out my day correctly. Generally, I'll have a win that day, right?
Yes, absolutely.
But we just have to be prepared. Now, they say that most entrepreneurs at a certain point in time in business eventually are just high-paid storytellers. Give us one great story over your career and maybe what you've learned from it, and if you still use that story in your teaching.
Yes, I actually do use that story. I use it a lot, and I'm actually getting ready to use it again. I was just invited to speak on another call, but my story goes all the way back to my childhood because it's kind of an ugly duckling story. I'm the ugly duckling who became a swan, but the way my story goes is I struggled through school because I'm dyslexic, so I always had a problem with reading. I was slower than the other kids. I didn't really understand, you know, because the words would mix up on me.
Sure.
And so I was actually put in lower classes and stuff, but I was also a tiny kid. I was little and puny, and I wore these giant glasses. I don't know why my mom put these giant glasses on me, but she did. And so it really did a number on my self-confidence because the other kids would kind of pick on me and kind of alienate me. But, you know, you still kind of have to find your way. You know, you can't do anything about it. Mm-hmm. But I use that story when I'm talking to people. And that story I have found really impacts people because, you know, the way the story goes is pretty much I had teachers who really took me by the hand and took their time with me and really taught me how to read and taught me how to create my own stories and how to figure out so that I could get the confidence. So what I would do is I would create stories, and then I would read them back to the teachers, which gave me the confidence that I needed to start learning how to read. And so through just that story of evolving and then going on into high school and college and then evolving to where I am now, it really helps people realize that, there are self-image problems that can go back to your childhood, but the way you get through them and the way you look at them. I mean, it would have been real easy for me to go, I'm a dyslexic, I can't read, and dropped out of school. Because that's what happened to my father. He dropped out in 8th grade. I was the first person to graduate on my dad's side of the family in at least 3 generations.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, anybody, I guess what you're saying is can change their stripes, right?
Yes.
You were reminding me your story of like when we talked to Justin Bieber's mom, Patty. She had a similar story. Everything was stacked against her. She had every problem and thing that she was dealing with. She was in a very dark, even suicidal place, but figured out a way to change her circumstances. Change the way she perceived her situation. She started taking different actions, and now she's, of course, helped her son become very successful, produced films, written New York Times bestsellers. Anybody can do it, but the saying of like, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to get what you got. We have to kind of change those actions. And, I feel like say, getting a good start to the day will generally, things can domino either in a bad way for us or in a good way. Maria, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to get into our lightning round. This is where the audience has a chance to get to know you and, as you mentioned, connect with you more on a personal level. So stick with us. We'll be right back. Our sponsors are going to try to sell you some stuff, and then we'll be right back with Maria Lyons. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking with us. This is Angel Pomalis, and we've been talking with Maria Lyons. Her career, I got to tell you, I just feel like when talking to her, it makes me feel like, gosh, I need to get on the ball and do more. She has got so many things happening, and she's not just one of these people that's got a lot happening. It's not just about being busy. It's about being productive. And, companies that she started in her, 19 years old, early 20s, they're still in business. She's doing a lot right.
That's amazing. Yeah.
And I want to get to the lightning round.
All right.
Now, Maria, this is where we have the audience can connect with you more on a personal level.
That's right, Maria. And this is serious right here.
This is serious. So we're going to ask you some questions, about 3 minutes, and Angel's going to fire away.
And I hope you're ready. But it's going to go pretty fast right here. Okay, here we go. Oh, hold on. Let me sip a little bit of my
oh my gosh,
new strawberry tequila martini.
Okay.
Okay, I feel good now.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, Maria. If you were in the business you are in now, what career path would you pursue?
Oh, I would go to Hollywood and then a movie star.
Nice. I totally see that.
Yeah.
She didn't even. There was. Yeah. If you notice, there was zero hesitation there. It was just like Hollywood movie star done.
Hollywood done.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Second one. Is there a field or job that you could never see yourself in?
Oh yeah, plumbing. I have a friend who told me horror stories. No.
Plumbing. No plumber. Like Mario. No plumbing.
I'm with you on that. I am. It seems like having like a. I've done a little bit of plumbing, nothing serious, just for my own. And it seems like as soon as I say, "Baby, I'm going to go fix the sink," I lean over and my butt's showing. It's like almost a prerequisite that you have to have plumber's crack to even do plumbing.
Plumber's crack. That's
but I'm with you on that, Maria. Not fantastic.
They used to have a show called Dirty Jobs.
Dirty Jobs.
Oh yeah. I can't do that stuff. The stuff he was doing was crazy.
I have a gag reflex that's very sensitive, and
I can't do that.
I wouldn't be able to handle it. Okay.
Yeah. All right, Maria, number 3 here. What music do you listen to when you are trying to get into that zone?
Yeah, getting in the zone.
Yeah.
Gwen Stefani's Hollerback Girl. Oh my gosh.
Hollerback Girl.
Nice.
What about Palabdul? You say you like Palabdul.
I love Palabdul too, but Gwen Stefani's Hollerback Girl. I'm a Gwen girl.
Nice.
You know, my daughter used to sing that a lot. She loves it.
So do you watch The Voice since Gwen's been on and Gwen's been on?
No, because Gwen doesn't sing, so no. But
Okay.
I've met Gwen and I've been to her concert. I'm always in the front. So.
Wow. She's an amazing woman.
I'm going to have to hang out with Maria.
Gwen is
so I can go to the front, you know.
Angel's literally ditching me. He's like, I want to be partners with Maria. You're boring, Dan. I want to hang out with Maria.
Maria. If you like Bruno Mars, let me know so I can go with you.
Okay.
Okay, I do. I like him too.
Awesome. See, I'm going to be the front.
Okay.
All right. Okay, next. What is your favorite guilty pleasure?
Dry rub wings and beer.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I like wings.
Dry rub wings.
Okay.
Wings.
Dry rub wings and beer.
Dry rub wings.
Yeah.
Dry rub. Like dry rub ribs.
It's like the dry rub wings. Like, I can't stand the sloppy, slimy wings. I hate those. They have to be dry rub.
Yeah, very vinegar. I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm down with that. Good. So, next one. Who is your celebrity crush?
Okay, we're going male or female?
Just let her rip, because now you have my interest.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I like Billy Burke from Revolution, and I think he's on Zoo now. And then, I guess female, I don't know, there's several.
One being Gwen Stefani.
Oh, yeah.
Billy Burke, I don't know his work. I'm going to have to research him.
Can you tell us a little bit about him?
Billy Burke.
Yeah,
Billy Burke.
Go watch Revolution.
Revolution. Got it.
Is it on Netflix?
Yes, it's on Netflix.
Oh, that's it. I'm looking for a new show right now. I've just been finishing mine.
Yeah, because there's been a lot of...
let's see, J.J. Abrams did Revolution.
Okay.
So it's a little science fiction-y.
I'm in.
But it doesn't start that way. It's a show about what happens if the power goes off.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay, I'm gonna check him out. Now, you mentioned the beer and wings, but what type of beer? Corona or Tecate?
Well, I actually like both, but I like a Corona. I just like the bottle, and I like the lime.
You like the branding. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Just like the label. That's a crown on it. Looks cool. I like that. All right. What about luxury car or low rider?
Well, I'm a queen and a bit more refined, so luxury.
Luxury?
I could probably see Lloyd in a lowrider, honestly. At least 20 years ago, that guy was in a lowrider bouncing, but Maria definitely...
Like, come on, Maria. Let's go.
Órale, Maria, let's go to Margaritas and have some menudo.
I'm a luxury. Give me the limo. That's what.
Yeah, Maria is definitely a luxury gal, for sure. No question.
That's cool. All right. So we think we know the next answer. Menudo or chicken noodle?
Menudo.
Nice.
Yeah, menudo. Okay. Name a super gigantic goal that you plan to achieve in the future.
Okay, this is crazy. I want to build a castle to live in. But I want to build it because I want to customize it. I want it to look just so. So I want to build a castle to live in.
Castle.
Build a castle to live in. Let me ask you a question. Does Lloyd know about this?
Well, actually, we're kind of house hunting, and so there was one that actually came on the market that I didn't even know was in our area. It was a 4-bedroom castle, but it was sold as a wedding venue. If I would have had $2.9 million, I would have bought it.
Extra, like laying around, let's grab that. I need that castle.
Yeah, it was a house. It was built like a castle. It was beautiful. I loved it. It was 10,000 square feet, though, so I don't know.
So when you get the castle, can me and Angel come and stay at least for a weekend?
Yeah.
We'll scrub the floors or we'll do whatever we have to. We'll cut the grass.
I'll stay next to the horse barn. I don't care.
I will do your yard for you.
I'll feed the goats. I'll feed the goats and the chickens over there.
That is a gigantic goal.
A castle. Are you going to have like a river around it too? They used to have like a
moat.
Yeah, like a moat.
Crocodiles.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
You can go fishing for bluegills.
I'll do it, man.
I want to mow, and I want horses with horns, because we've got to have unicorns on the property. So it's got to be a fairy tale.
Hey,
that's pretty.
I believe if you're saying it, it can probably be accomplished.
It probably will.
Okay.
That's nice. Now, the last one is very, very how would you say here in our show?
Yes.
Famous.
Yes. Put some thought behind this.
Yeah. This is one of the most famous questions in our show because this is the last question. All right. So here we go. If we had a white president, African American president, entrepreneur president. If we ever get a Latino president, what do you think is going to be his first 3 executive orders?
Okay, well, this is what, I don't know what his would be, but this is what needs to happen.
Okay,
what needs to happen?
I'm going to write him and tell him. I need a taco truck at every gas station across
Oh, my goodness. I love it.
Not even a question.
Because I love tacos, okay? And then I need Taco Tuesday to be declared a national holiday.
Taco Tuesday, yeah.
She is definitely more Latino than me.
I know.
I love her mind.
She got some good ideas. I like it.
As soon as I get off the phone, I'm going for a Corona and a taco, just saying.
I love it.
And then I need Cinco de Mayo to be declared a holiday every single month, though.
Nice.
All right. So we're going to have Cinco de December. Cinco de Noviembre, Diciembre.
December.
Yes.
Oh,
wow.
I like that idea.
Can you actually follow through with that and maybe start a petition and maybe write in and try to get that done for us? Because I believe you could do it. They would listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could do it. We'll get that done.
So, Maria, let me ask you a question. Obviously, you've had an immense career running multiple businesses as well as speaking, coaching. How do we get more information for the coaching business? If we want more information, where do we go?
Mm-hmm.
You can go to my website, marialyonsnow.com.
All right, and in terms of the show, how do we catch these episodes? Is that the same place, or do we go to a different place?
There's a few on there. I need to get them all on there, but the best place to catch all of the shows is actually to go to my Facebook, which is The Lyons Den Show with Maria Lyons.
The Lyons Den Show with Maria Lyons.
Yes, so if you go to Facebook and you just do a search for The Lyons Den Show with Maria Lyons, and my name is spelled Lyons, my show will pop up, and every single episode I've ever done is there.
I love it.
On Facebook.
And all the great stories, you don't edit them, you leave them in.
Yes, no, I do not edit them. I leave them in.
You're gonna see my request. You're gonna see my request tonight, Maria.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome.
So, Maria, let me ask you this. So for our viewers that are watching the show right now, and you've inspired them, and they're thinking, if she could do it, I could do it. Mm-hmm. And they're thinking about maybe quitting the job and pulling the trigger, or maybe just changing some things in their lives and getting in the pool and kind of pursuing their passion and maybe starting a business for the first time. Any parting words or words of wisdom that you can impart to our viewers?
The biggest thing that I would say is to really sit down with a pen and a piece of paper and find out what it is that you're good at. I mean, ask questions of your friends and family and ask them, what is it that I'm good at? And they'll tell you, they'll be honest with you. And chances are there's a field that you could go into that you're really good at. I know when I sit down with a pen and piece of paper when I was thinking about doing a career change, and people were like, you do public speaking, you talk all the time, and you inspire people, and you've helped me do this, and you've helped me do that. And so I was like, okay. And so that's why I changed career paths and started doing what I'm doing now. And it's been very rewarding for me because now I feel like I'm more on purpose. So my thing is sit down with a pen and paper, spend some time with yourself, ask questions, and really figure out how you can turn your passion and your purpose into money making. And then find the mentors that's going to help take you there.
Very important.
I love that. Sometimes you have to go to other people and say, what do you see? You know me well. What do you see me doing? Because they're objective. And a lot of times we're listening to unqualified advice where somebody's trying to steer, especially when we're young, trying to steer us in this career path or that career path. And we might be saying, okay, maybe I should do that. And by getting enough people involved and saying, look, what do you think? And they're going to say, nah, man, you need to be an actor in Hollywood. And if you're a person like Maria Lyons, when you sit down with that piece of paper and you say, what am I good at? You have a long list of things that you're able to do. So hopefully they have the same experience. But Maria, we appreciate you being on today. We've really gleaned a lot from what you've done. You have an immense career, and I know that you'll continue to move forward and make an impact on so many. We would love if you would come back on the show sometime and bless us with your presence. Would you come back?
Absolutely, anytime.
Awesome.
I appreciate you guys having me on the show tonight.
And we'll have a drink for you too, a special drink for you.
Yes.
Perfect.
Now, Maria, one thing, I know that we're supposed to connect here in about a month. We're going to be doing a seminar together in Atlanta.
Yes, in Atlanta.
And so maybe we'll invite Angel to come. I'm on the fence, but we'll see if we can maybe get him there.
Oh, it'd be great to meet you.
That's awesome.
And bring your friend Gwen, and we'll see what...
and maybe after that, we can go to a concert so we can get front stage pass.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, I've got a few other friends I can bring.
We know Maria now. We know Maria, so we're going to get hooked up now.
Well, thank you so much, Maria, for everything that you do. Give our best to Lloyd. I know he's been there as your partner, side by side, helping you accomplish everything that you've done. And we definitely appreciate you being on the show. Angel, as always, man, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for checking out the Spanglish Business Show.
Thank you, guys.
And we will see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.
See you next time. Adios.
Bye.